I begin the video at the Highland Silver Lake Reservoir on the northwest side of town. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, as doing all of those things helps these videos destroy the monster that is the YouTube algorithm. Also make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. If you enjoy this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on this channel. Videos with amazing insights on other places like what you see here can be found in my Metro East playlist, my St. Louis Suburbs playlist, my USA Small Towns playlist, or in my Illinois playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. Before heading through the town of Highland, I remember that while I was here filming this video that I wanted to make it a point to at least go through the park and show more of the reservoir, and I'll explain why up ahead. After going through darn near the entire state of Illinois, it seems as if every smaller rural-based town the size of Highland has its own reservoir. I've made videos on many other Illinois towns at this point, and in the videos that I've made on other towns, I got called all kinds of names from locals for not showing their lake, or what I like to call reservoirs. So here you go, Highland residents, here's your lake. Please don't think I'm trying to downsize it though. It is pretty, and if I lived in Highland, I would probably spend some time here as there aren't too many other recreational options nearby. It's better than not having one. However, I've lived in Michigan for a decent portion of my life, and that state is spoiled with thousands of inland lakes that have sand bottoms and clear waters, unlike these reservoirs that are built off of muddy creeks where you can't see 1 inch below the surface. Many of these reservoirs also contain harmful chemicals from agricultural runoff, and once again, not trying to downsize or rip on your lake, Highland residents, as these lakes can be nice too, but let's pretend that I didn't show this lake. If you're one of the few jackholes that would get belligerent with me over not showing your lake, I encourage you to take a road trip to Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Michigan and see what some real lakes look like. Otherwise, I know that most people who are watching that live in Highland or many of the other nearby towns are nodding their heads at what I'm saying. It's a pretty reservoir here in Highland, and once again, it's better than not having one. Alright, so that was fun, but now it's time to head into town. Highland lies within the St. Louis metro area and is considered to also be a part of the smaller region known as Metro East, or the Illinois side of the St. Louis metro area. Metro East is a region that has quite a few depressed communities, but it also has a handful of towns on the outskirts of the region, such as Highland, that would be decent places to settle down in if you're looking to move towards the Illinois side of the St. Louis metro area. Highland isn't necessarily exploding in population growth, but later in this video you'll see that there are some parts of town with newer housing subdivisions, and those newer housing subdivisions have been built here for no other reason than ongoing suburban expansion of St. Louis as people continue to look for newer housing in the suburbs. If St. Louis wasn't nearby, it's highly likely that there wouldn't be any stock of newer housing in Highland. When you look at the population history of Highland, you can see that over the years, the town has continued to grow at a consistent pace until just recently. You can see that Madison County as a whole, however, has started to see a population loss, and this is more so a regional problem with Metro East, as I've mentioned briefly before that it's an economically depressed area. Most of the economic growth in the St. Louis metro area has come on the Missouri side during the past few decades. Back to Highland, today the town is home to 9,800 residents. The median household income is just under $60,000 per year, and the poverty rate is 9%. 28% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher, and the median value of owner-occupied housing units is $152,000. That's lower than the national and state averages, but for Madison County it's pretty good. Niche.com ranks the public schools as a B+, and the crime rates are well below average. Meanwhile, it was hard to ignore as that looked like a pretty nasty crash there involving multiple vehicles. Hope everyone was able to be alright. Currently, we're on the northern side of town as I'm heading towards Highland High School. This seems to be a typical small-town bypass route that over time has seen commercial development. Within the next several minutes, you can see multiple residential subdivisions along with newish commercial buildings. This is all a part of what I was talking about earlier with suburban growth. When looking at the entire section of town that's north of the US 40 bypass route, it seems as if local planners expect all of the remaining farm fields to be taken up with single-family housing. As growth has slowed though, we'll just have to wait and see what the future holds. And this is Highland High School, home of the Bulldogs. The colors are red and black. Enrollment for the school is around 900, so not too small but also not too big. Now I start heading towards the original town of Highland, which, as you'll see, looks just about like every other Illinois town in this part of the state. Highland was first settled in 1831 by Swiss immigrants. A few German settlers also had an influence on the town's early days. The original name of the town was New Switzerland. In 1836, the town was renamed to Highland after the Highlands of Scotland and was meant to honor General Joseph Semple. Another name given to the place before the name Highland was chose was Helvetia, after the heritage of the original settlers. In 1837, the town of Highland was formally platted. The town celebrates its Swiss heritage through annual events. Oh, and I guess Abraham Lincoln stepped foot in town once. Silly me for not mentioning. Maybe breathed in some of the precious Highland air and left his fingerprints on some buildings in town through his visit. Modern highlights of Highland include that it's home to the Corte Company, which is a national construction company and has offices across the nation, but most of their business occurs in the St. Louis area. For the next minute or so, I'll be on the southeastern part of town and you'll see a mix of older and newer housing. Among the most notable people from Highland includes James Head, who recently has competed in the welterweight division of the U.S.A. with his last appearance in a match coming in 2013. Other than that, it's a bunch of early 20th century baseball guys. For the rest of this video, I won't be saying much, as pretty much everything that there is to say about Highland has already been said. For example, I've already said about 5 times more than the city's own website says about the place. I'll mention some things when I pass through downtown, and if you want to skip ahead to that part, you can check out the timestamps down below. And now we have reached downtown Highland. There isn't too much here other than a modern office building on the left, a town square, and your typical couple of shops and restaurants that are usually associated with towns of this size. Seems like a well-functioning downtown area though, so that's good to see, because not every town of this size has a well-kept up with downtown, as you've probably seen through some of my videos. Here you can see some of the nice older homes along Broadway. We'll be able to see even more as I zigzag through some of the streets surrounding downtown. And here are some more nice looking older houses that bring Highland some small town charm. And here you can get a nice view of the town square. As you've probably seen throughout my videos that I've made so far, one of my favorite things to come across in these small towns are the old theaters. In many cases, these downtown theaters have been bought by locals and restored, and Highland's case is no exception as the Lorry Theater was remodeled in 2012. Meanwhile, on the right you have the old post office, which looks like a nice historic building as well. To the right is Highland Elementary School, and maybe I'm wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me if this used to be the high school based off of how the building looks. Also, when you look at a map of where Highland High School is located, it's in a newer part of town where newer subdivisions are being built, so like I said, it wouldn't surprise me. In this video, you saw how Highland is your typical average small town, but as it's in close proximity to the St. Louis area, it has seen suburban growth over the years. That growth has come to a halt recently, but it's not necessarily to the fault of Highland, as it's more so the stagnant growth overall of the Metro East region, along with the entire state of Illinois outside of Chicago. I do end the video here. If you enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, as doing all of those things helps these videos destroy the monster that is the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy checking out some of the featured playlists on this channel. Videos with amazing insights on other places like what you see here can be found in my Metro East playlist, my St. Louis Suburbs playlist, my USA Small Towns playlist, or in my Illinois playlist. Last but not least, if you can't get enough of me on here, you can always go follow me on my other social media accounts, and those links are below. We'll see you next time. Peace!